I'm a huge fan of the Taraf, and I'm a huge fan of them as musicians, as artists, and of them as people, you know, as human beings. I'll never forget when I met them for the first time. I was getting ready to do another film called The Man Who Cried with Sally Potter. And I was to be playing a guy named Cesar, Gypsy, you know. I said, "So who plays my family?" You know, and she said, "Oh, we have this amazing group called the Taraf de Haidouks," you know. And when I arrived on set, I was looking forward to meeting the guys. And they brought me, one of the assistant directors brought me over to this one area of the room, and there were the Tarafs all set up, you know, right in front of me. And they just broke into a song, you know. And that was sort of like welcoming me to their midst or whatever. So they broke into like 3-4 songs, you know, in a row, and I just stood there stupefied. You know, I mean, I've sat around with buddies of mine, like musicians, like really good musicians, professional musicians. And I'd play them the Taraf stuff, because I wanted to see the reaction. So I'd start out playing like a ballad kind of thing, which is obviously so soulful that for like a proper like professional musician, you know, a guy who's been in the business for years and years and making a lot of dough, you can see it begin to disturb him, you know, like, Jesus, you know, how do they do that? How does that guy do that? How does the guy sing like that, you know? So you start off with that, and then you play, then you go into some really insane, fast-paced thing that starts off with a cymbal that at first nobody knows what it is, they can't identify it. It sounds like he's playing the inside of a piano, you know? And then they go into this motherfucker thing of, you know, that's like 1,000,000 miles an hour, with a time signature that you can't identify, you know, right away. So it's always fun to see people's reactions to that, you know. I mean, guys have to listen to it over and over and over, thinking, what was that? And, you know, it was like a train going past, you know, gone. We were still doing the film, and a couple of friends of mine were in town. Jim Jarmusch and Iggy Pop happened to be in town that night, and so they wanted to hook up. I said, "Well, I'm working all night, but come out, you know, come out to the set." So they came out, and I'd already told them, I said, "You got to see these guys, man. You got to see them." And Iggy was really excited, and Jim was very, you know, enthusiastic about seeing the band and meeting them. And I had told the guys, you know, the Tarafs, I said, "Listen, there's a couple of friends of mine coming out later. I want you to meet." And they're like brothers, you know. So I said, "Oh, okay." And before Jim and Iggy were there, and before I'd introduced them, I was walking from the set up to this. I was walking from the set with the Tarafs up to where the crew was. It was about 30-40 yards. And as we started walking, I hadn't informed the Tarafs that they were there yet, but somehow they knew, because there was Jim and Iggy standing right before, you know, about 30-40 yards ahead of us, and they just started playing, you know, as we're walking towards Jim and Iggy. And it was one of those moments. It was, you know, here I'm walking amidst this power of this music, you know, centuries old music, walking up to Jim and Iggy, and I'll never forget their face, you know, their faces on them. Just, you know, like, you know, totally selfless, you know, they were floating. Jim and Iggy just they couldn't believe it. It was really an amazing moment, you know? And I'll have that memory forever, you know, forever and ever.